Well, good afternoon, everybody. This is the 49 Days of CBC, and I have two wonderful people here with us. This is Don and Amy Watson. They are the directors of Week 7. I say they are the directors. I know what it's like to have my wife. I'm sorry, Week 5. Yeah, it's been a
We
long.
can't fill your shoes, Andy. We can't fill your shoes.
They are the new directors of Week 7. I pushed it off on you. How's that? No, they are the directors of Week 5. I know what it's like to have my wife support me directing a week of camp, and there's no way I could do it without her. And I know it's the same way with you, Don. So, guys, I just want to take a few minutes and just say thank you for your support that you've given Carolina Bible Camp over the years, and just the love that you have for it and the kids that come there. I know for you, just like everybody else, when the decision was made that we weren't going to have camp, how did that hit y'all?
Well, it was we kind of built into it, so I guess in the back of our minds, we kind of felt that it might be coming.
Yeah.
But I mean, getting parts of the emails, we kind of, the initial attempt was made to just shorten it. And so we were going to combine with Kurt, in week 1 and do our week with combined staff. So we were, making plans and still working, themes and lessons and, logos,
Yes.
things like that. So, right there until the announcement, we were still working like we were going to go. I mean, because as you know, the planning starts long before, your week does.
Yeah. It usually starts the day that you end Week 5. Start thinking about it. So how about you,
Well,
Amy?
pretty much. But it's, once it, I guess, kind of sunk in, which I don't know if it's actually sunk in yet. Since Week 5, we'd be there probably right now.
Yeah.
We'd just be getting there as soon as, Week 4 was finished cleaning up and moving out. And we would have a staff meeting, tonight and probably eat some pizza and start getting your mind right, for the upcoming week.
The chaos begins on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
No, the chaos begins a long time before that.
Yes. So how
it was
did
sad.
Yeah.
It was sad. Abby, I think it hit her the worst, out of the whole. Yeah, I mean, because we, like Donnie said, we were in the back of our heads. We sort of thought it was coming, but, to then have to go ahead and tell your kids, I think she cried. She was sad. She was very sad. What am I going to do?
Oh,
but,
yeah.
Next year.
Yeah. Well, I know Abby and Cassie. Well, we have a young lady that's living with us, Abby. Her and Cassie and Amia, they were both, all of them were in there when I had the Zoom meeting up, and they could hear the discussions and everything, and that was heartbreaking. Well, when you look back over the years, how long have y'all been working at Carolina Bible Camp now?
Well, we just had that discussion, but probably Amy about 12.
All right.
And then they started coming. We lived up in Roxborough.
Okay.
And I can remember them coming back from camp.
We weren't living in Roxborough. We were living in Jackson Springs. But we came for 2 years without Donnie. Yeah. This is how it went. And every summer, the kids would be like, Daddy, you got to come. Daddy, you got to come. And so we finally got him on year 3. He finally said, okay, I'm coming. So, and I remember talking to him. I don't know how many years we've been coming, Andy, and probably 5 or 6. And I had talked to him a few times and said, baby, wouldn't it be great if you could be a director one week? I mean, I had those things. I told him, I said, I've been thinking about this. I said, I think it would be great for, you to be a director. And that was years and years ago. And then lo and behold,
yep,
how things work out. And it was like, now we're like, oh,
What do I do now?
What do I do? It's like having a baby. You're like, oh no, they're here. What do you do?
Well, both of you guys are the same boat with me. You spent a lot of years with Kirk Sams, and you spent a lot of years with Wilson and the staff there at Week 3, Jared and everybody. So you had some great examples of leadership to follow. And there's no way I could do it without that experience being with those guys. I imagine you guys say the same thing.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely.
He just reminded me about Freddie Pace.
Yeah.
And I've always thought one of the best things about Bible camp is that we go to different congregations throughout the state, and then we see them in their natural habitat. We see people, oh yeah, we met you, or you know them, and so everyone's so connected.
Yes, they are. It's such a blessing to have this fellowship, these brothers and sisters in Christ all over the state of North Carolina, South Carolina, Eastern Tennessee. It's just a big family, and to be able to work with them and everything, it's so much fun. Now, when you think back over the years and the experiences you've had, your experiences have been there in Mocksville. We know that there's been other camps. I'm not sure if you watched the other videos of the guys talking about in 1956 when it started at Camp Thunderbird down here in South Carolina. I've got some photos of one of our friends at church. She was a counselor standing out beside one of the cabins in 1957 or 58. It was one of the first years. Wow. And you think about the foresight that those guys who, decided to throw out there, hey, this idea of camp, Carolina Bible Camp, and where it is now, and we get to be part of it. That's a blessing.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah, I watched the one you do with Mr. Billy.
Oh.
So, yeah, he's been around since before camp. So, yeah, I mean, to think about some of the conversations they had, and the ideas they had, hey, how about this? Let's try that, and then to do it and see what it's turned into.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's something.
Now,
Speaks a lot for their faith, I think.
Now, when y'all think back over the years, the experiences you've had, you got a special memory that you want to share that y'all, both of you, either one of you want to share with us right now?
Well, I mean, Amy's already kind of talked about it. I can remember the first year, which, I wasn't even there.
Yeah.
The first year the kids went to camp, and I think they talked about it until the next year they went to camp. I think they talked about it all year long.
That's cool.
And that made an impression on me, what they were able to do. And of course, you think that's a good thing. Our oldest, it's I guess it's not a specific, at least for me, a specific one thing. It makes me feel good to think, our kids have gone to camp longer than they haven't, in their lives.
Yeah.
Caleb started when he's 9, he's 21.
Yeah.
And Abby's started when she was 7, she's 19. 19. And, Jesse started when he was a pre-camper, so he was 5, and he's 17. So they've been going to camp longer than they haven't.
Yeah.
And Caleb was baptized, at the pool. I was able to baptize him. I've been fortunate enough to baptize all our kids. The other ones at our home congregation there.
Yeah.
In Carthage, but Caleb was at camp, and that's always a special thing. And I guess I remember it's a lot of things. I remember the baptisms. Amy's always involved with crafts. I remember Jesse's got a styrofoam plate.
He still has it. It's just awesome.
Up on his wall. I can remember sitting with him, and we were thinking about, hey, what are we going to do? Let's do this. Okay. And then, we made it, and it's still sitting up on his wall in his room, and, playing softball with Mr. Billy, and,
oh yeah,
basketball with Kirk, and
the food fight in the field. So.
Well, did you have a favorite?
Not necessarily. It's just a bunch of things. My biggest thing has been the friendships that, the kids have been able to build, because not that we distance ourselves from the public school, but we're focused more on worship and Christ and those types of things. So school and that type of thing fall by the wayside. So I'm thankful that the kids have found friendships that have stood throughout the years, and that they still talk and they still, get together, and so I'm glad that they've been able to build those friendships with, Christians and Christ-like people instead of, from the more worldly side of.
It's amazing when you think about how important those friendships are to them.
Yeah, and the Bible study that wasn't it Abby Daly and was Cassie involved? There was like 9 or 10 girls, and I didn't even know about this. Me or Donnie didn't. And Abby one day she's like, oh well, I can't do that. I've got a Bible study, and we were like, what? Yeah. We didn't know you were doing this, and they've been doing it for like a couple months, and I was so proud that those girls had done that and took that upon themselves. It was really a good moment for me. So
it's powerful, the relationships that these kids make each and every year, and it builds and builds and builds, and it kind of reassures us as parents to know that their foundation in Christ is strong, and it's based on Carolina Bible Camp.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause this just for a second so I can go inside because I've got to. All right. Sorry about that, Amy.
That's okay.
All right. So we're talking about the memories and the positive things that we see here, and you made that important statement about how these kids, like our daughters, are doing these Bible studies, and it's just friendships that have developed over the years through CBC.
Yeah.
And, just like for us, if I needed you guys to help me out with something, I know I can call you. I know I called you whenever I had week 7 as director. I said, I need you, and y'all were there. And that's the relationships us adults have, is the support, the camaraderie, the love we have for one another. And that's just a blessing for me. And I just want to thank you guys for that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Well, the question I've been asking the staff is, how do you handle those campers that are struggling when they get there to CBC and they don't fit in, they don't feel like they're part of the family, it's their first time ever walking on campus? How do you handle that situation?
Well, I just speaking for me, I guess. It seems like they fall into 2 categories. What we always try to do during week 5, because we're a junior week, and Kirk's also the other junior week, but his is a lot more established, I think. So a lot of the campers that are in camp, that have gone to camp, either their siblings have gone and they know about it, and they're, a lot of them go to week 1, which is good. They heard straight, they're going to go. So kind of just the niche, or where we kind of found ourselves with week 5, is getting more first-time campers.
Right.
And I think, with that in mind, we've tried to build our schedule and, the way we do things for that in mind.
Right.
Kirk's is, one thing I learned from Kirk is, you don't give them free time to get in trouble. So, so they've got a real set. Yeah, keep him busy. And he's got of course, over the years, built a set schedule, and he's got a boom, 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 boom. And not that we try to give him time to get in trouble, but we try to make ours on purpose, less one thing after another. So the kids have just a little bit of time, of course, all, supervised and everything, but just to experience camp.
Yes, definitely.
A little bit more. So, we right when we first start, I'll usually ask for a show of hands who is a first-time camper, and we'll get 20 or 30.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
About every week, and fortunate we've been able to build the week up. Gosh, we started, I don't know what it was, the first year we had week 5, which this is like the 5th year that we've been doing week 5, and we were over 100 last year.
So we've seen your numbers going up, and that's great. That's people buying into what you're doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got a great staff, that always come up with good ideas and put a lot of work, into everything from the crafts to the lessons to the athletics. And
those, for me, I think trying to just those kids that need special attention, try to get it to them one-on-one. The craft cabin is an awesome place.
It is.
Not only is it shady and has fans, but if you can sit down with a child who's having a rough day or something, and do a craft with them, helps them open up, helps them feel more comfortable, and someone's going to come and sit down at that table with you, especially if there's a grown-up there.
Yes.
And so week 5, every day I have a free craft challenge. So even if you don't have a lot of money in your canteen, I always have something there that we have a craft. And I judge them, we judge them, and we give out prizes the next day, whoever wants to be involved in the free craft challenge. But I think making them feel special, just getting them alone, hoping they open up to you. I think that's one of the best ways.
What's the thing, getting them involved? Like I said, they come in 2 categories. One is they see it and they're like, whoa, yeah, and they're off, right? You don't have to worry about them. But then there's the new ones that say, I don't know, and I want to call home, and hey, just wait till dinner, and see how you feel, and then let's wait till breakfast.
Yeah, there you go.
You gotta go swimming, you gotta try this, you gotta.
I mean, we had one last year who was, again, junior week, you're only going to about 12. She was older already. She was probably close to 12. And it was her first year. And, she had the issues with, just, a little bit more. And I thought we'd get her, usually get them through Wednesday, and you got them then. And, the request to call and everything quit. But this one didn't. I was like, oh, man, we might lose one, to a call home, and then the parents come, and then it's in trouble. But, so she ended up going through all that and ended up staying. And she ended up carrying home the Director's Award last year.
Well, how those special moments where you get to spend that time with those kids, those are memories that they'll remember forever.
Yeah.
And that's just being part of that, that's just a blessing, to be in their lives for that minute, that moment, to share Christ and them experience it. That's what camp's about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, over the years, I know you've had a few people that have impacted you guys and, caused you to, or left a good impression on you. And I know we talked about Billy Voss, who's probably going to be one of the ones that you mentioned, because he is just a wonderful man. And, it was just an honor to sit down with him the other day. But is there somebody that stands out in your memory over the years that you've experienced CBC that you want to share with me?
Well, like you say, Mr. Billy, we were fortunate enough to worship with Billy in Sanford.
Mm-hmm.
So, we started going week 3.
Yeah.
Because that's the week,
they went.
Yeah. And then, of course, working, you're one, working with you week 1 and Kirk. There's been a bunch. Duke and Fisher, what time is it?
Yes.
That was one of my favorites.
Oh yeah.
That was one of my favorites. And then kind of what Amy said, the folks that you meet, week 5, we have a lot of folks from down east on the staff. Lenny and Karen Reagan, Teresa and Trevor Pilkington, Stephanie Williams, those folks from down east, and some of the newer faces that are coming in from the church in Pungo, the congregation down there. It's been great, meeting people from different parts of the state.
What about you, Amy?
I think Well, I think Freddie Pace will always go down in my memory.
Candyman.
Yes, him and his antics. So he was just someone to know. And well, Billy, and we've known, Elaine Rapier. We knew her from Donnie's parents worship at Helen Street. So we've known. Wow. Yeah, so we knew Elaine. Donnie's known Elaine a long time.
Oh wow.
And and it was funny. I mean, because she passed 2 years ago now, I think, something like that.
Probably been longer than that.
Has it been longer than 2 years? But I mean, just knowing the people, I think, and that's one of the things for me when you go and you see them in their home congregation, you see them in their natural habitat, and how they are. But you're a special one too. You really are. I mean, because the love you show and the enthusiasm that comes with you is awesome. And I know that I'm not quite as enthusiastic. but I love what I do, and I love doing the things in the camp, and I'm thankful that I have the opportunity to do those things and experience all the different parts of it. I think the only thing I haven't done is work in the kitchen. And last year we didn't know if we were going to have a kitchen director, and I said, I'll do it, baby. I'll do the kitchen.
I don't know if
I'm sure I can figure it out.
I think I'd pay somebody before we had to do it.
Well, I knew if I said yes to that, that's where I'd be too. So.
Wow.
But Belinda pulled through for us.
Yeah, Belinda, I mean, she's one we've met. David Price.
Yeah, Belinda and Eddie Knuckles, boy, they have pulled out some winners for us. Yeah, I mean, we've been in some binds and they've been able to pull through. They've been great.
Isn't it amazing how the brothers and sisters just step up when you need it and fill in and just take off running with whatever the need is,
Yeah, if you've never had Belinda in charge of your food, she puts out some not just good cooking, but she staged whole dessert fruit areas around our theme last year. She had Toy Story fruit cantaloupes and all this stuff she was awesome. I mean, she really puts her heart into it.
Yeah.
She set up camera background so everyone can take pictures around our theme. And I mean, she's really an awesome lady.
Oh man. Well, I was going to have Paul Nelson as my kitchen director this year from week 1. Do y'all remember him?
Tanya,
his wife, she worked in the kitchen, and he worked in the kitchen and taught the kitchen worker class. I'm not sure. I think I might have already moved on by that time.
It's hard telling.
Yeah, the name doesn't ring a bell to me. But.
Yeah, he's a mess.
I'm better with faces.
Well, we sit here and we talk about Carolina Bible Camp, and the one question that's not on the list, but I've been asking everybody, and you may have seen the post on Facebook the other day, and that's, in one word, can you describe Carolina Bible Camp?
One word. Well, as much as it seems contrary, I would like to say peace. Mm-hmm. Because it's a good place to go and just be still. Right. If you can find those moments, and sit there, it's a beautiful place. So.
Yeah, I don't know if I could. I mean, I would say awesome, but that's what all the kids say. So,
yeah.
I mean, kind of like what Amy said, I might just say God.
Yeah.
Because one of my favorite things, I know week 1 or week 3, well, both, but were the morning devos.
Yes. Yeah.
At the pavilion. So I would get up and usually run in the morning and then, time it so I'm done with that and grab my Bible and go up for the Devo and still have time to get down and get a shower before breakfast. I might be a little sweaty, but when the Devo gets there, but that was one of my favorite things, was that morning Devo. Getting up and walking, and the dew's still settling, and there's not much noise. Obviously no kids are up yet. No basketballs bouncing or screaming and hollering. And that's really a neat time to be there.
That's so true. Like you said, the peace and everything. And I asked Tim Pinkston the other night when I was interviewing him, and he said, "Wow,
Oh,
wow, that's it."
wow.
It's just, you talk about that early morning Devo that, you're exhausted, but that prepares you for the day ahead of you to, reminds us of what our purpose is. And that's to be Christ-like to these kids that may not have that influence in their life. And you get to be part of their life for that week and show Christ to them. And that's humbling, exciting.
And ending the day with singing generally.
Yes. Yeah.
I think those are good ways to start and end. It's good for the kids to see the adults do those things, because they might not have that influence at the house. And so they see your vulnerability. They see you singing. They see you crying. I mean, everyone knows me. I'm a crier.
Yeah.
And, the songs speak to me, and that's an important part. And I'm crying, because it's so powerful, the words.
Right.
And ending the night like that always leads into Girl Town as a Devo, What was wrong? What's wrong, Miss Amy? I'm like, well, let's listen to the words. Let's read the words and see what they mean to us. And those are just, those are nice times.
Well, guys, if you had the opportunity to say, if you're sitting in front of your staff and all the kids there at camp right now, if you could say something to encourage them, what would be the thing you would say to them right now?
Well, I think it would be to think about some of the things we've talked about. The I call it work, but the effort that we are putting into the lessons and the preparation and the themes and the planning. It impacts, I think, more than we know. And and it can be it can be tiring. And it can be frustrating, and it can be, maddening, sometimes, but it's all worth it.
Amen.
And, there's always so many other things that we can do. Yeah. Not just, I'm talking about worldly things, I'm talking about church things. Mm-hmm. There's mission work and mission trips and your local congregation's efforts for different works that they're doing, cutting grass at the building and keeping up with, with things that you have to do there or you need to do there. Supporting preachers that are going to preaching school. We had a boy that we taught. In fact, we took him to Bible camp one year, CBC, and taught him, in Sunday school. And he's starting preaching school in
August.
In South Carolina.
All right. That's always good to hear there.
So, there's all a bunch of things that we can do, even in the brotherhood. Mm-hmm. But, always setting aside that time for Carolina Bible Camp. But hey, whatever else is going on, we got this week for camp. And we're going to start planning in February, with a little meeting, and we're going to get the theme set, and then we're going to work on T-shirts, and then we're going to get the lessons laid out and get those to you. And then we're going to get all this back in so we can do questions in a book and get it all copied by the time camp starts. And, that's a lot of stuff. But just, not to lose sight of why we're doing it, and the true impact that it makes, and that, that effort, while it is, it can be great sometimes, mm-hmm. It is definitely worth that, whatever it is that we put into it.
Amy?
What was the question again?
If you had something you could say to encourage the staff and the campers.
Well, yeah, don't be discouraged. This too will pass.
Amen.
Things happen for a reason. I'm a big, what is that? Proponent for that. And so this happened for a reason, but don't let it bring you down. Just keep going. The true meaning, of it's going to come out.
Yeah.
We'll all find out, and it's just another bump in the road just to keep going. So.
Well, there's hope for tomorrow, and we're hopeful for next year. We're going to have it's going to be bigger and better. We're going to be more excited, more enthusiastic about the love we have for these campers coming in. And I just want to thank.
Question for you.
Uh-oh.
Are you? Now I'm just wondering: are people using the same themes that they thought up for this year for next year? You're going to kind of come up with a new one.
No, we're going to use the same thing that we had planned for this year. Next year, we've got, Rob Morey is my David Price is our education guy. He and Rob get together. We're planned out for the next 3 years.
Oh, wow.
So, we're definitely using what we had this year. Last year's theme was just home was perfect. It was great. We had wonderful response, and we're blessed with our staff for week 7, just like you guys are. Now, this is the 49 days of CBC, and this is, the idea was to share the love we have for Carolina Bible Camp for the 49 days CBC would be in session. And we're starting week 5 today with you guys. You are the directors of week 5, and the kids are blessed to have you two working that week, and the love you have for them, but most importantly, the love you have for God that allows you to work with these kids. And it's a true honor to spend this, 15, 20, 30 minutes, whatever it is, with you two, to hear your heart and to share your love for CBC. I just want to say I love you guys. Thank you so much. When you can, try to share this video to get more people to know about the 49 days of CBC. And let's just make people aware of how much of a blessing this place is.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for all your effort.
Well, thank you. Well, we'll talk to you guys later. Love you guys.
All right. Say hey to Melissa.
All right.